Education during the Enlightenment, John Locke, Empiricism and Education as Conduct, the writing of the late 17th century. Empiricist John Locke on philosophy, government, and education were especially influential during the Enlightenment in the field of education. Locke is significant both for his general theory of knowledge and for his ideas on the education of youth. Locke's empiricism, expressed in his notion that ideas originate in experience, was used to attack the doctrine that principles of reasons are innate in the human mind. In an essay concerning human understanding, 1690, Locke argued that ideas come from two fountains. Ideas come from two fountains of experience, sensation through which the sense convey perception into the mind, and reflection whereby the mind works with the perception forming ideas. Locke thought of the mind as a blank tablet, tabular res, superior to experience, but he did not claim that all minds are equal. In some thought concerning education, 1693, he insisted that some minds have a greater intellectual potential than others. For education, Locke's empiricism meant that learning comes about only through experience. Education, which Locke felt should address both character and intellect, is therefore best achieved by proving the pupils with examples of proper thoughts and behavior, by training the child to witness and share in the habits of virtue that are part of the conventional wisdom of the rational and practical man. Virtue should be cultivated through proper upbringing preparatory to studies in the strict sense. The child first learns to do through activity and later comes to understand what has been done. The intimacy between conduct and thinking is best illustrated in the little of Locke's of the conduct of the understanding, written as an appendix to his essay. There it is clear that understanding comes only with carefully cultivation and practice. This means that understanding not only involves conduct but also is itself a kind of conduct. If the child and the tutor share a kind of conduct, then the child will have learned the habits of character and mind that are necessary of education to continue. Like Locke, the Italian philosopher Vico believed that human beings are not intently rational. He argued, however, that understanding results not through sense perception but through imaginative reconstruction. Although Vico's ideas were not widely known in the 18th century, the importance of his work for the history of philosophy and education has been increasingly recognized since the late 1960s. Vico was professor of rhetoric at the University of Naples from 1699 to 1741. His best-known work is New Science, 1725, in which he advanced the idea that human beings in their origins are not rational like philosophers but imaginative like poets. The relation between imagination and reason in New Science is suggestive for educational theory. Civilized human beings are rational, yet they come to be that way without knowing what they were doing. The first human created institution literally without reason, as poets do, who follow their imaginations rather than their reasons. Only later, after they have become rational, can human beings understand what they are and what they have made. Vico's ideas that early humans were non-rational and childlike prefigures Russia's primitivism, and his conceptions of human developed the background and influence of naturalism, and the importance Vico accorded to imagination foreshadows the place that feeling was to have in the 19th century romantic thoughts. The Nostri Temporo Studium 1709 on the Saturday methods of our time defend the humanism program of study against what Vico took to be an comment by the rationalistic system of Descartes on the education's method proper for youth. Vico asserted that influential criteria treats the Port Royal logic by the Genesis Antonia, and Niccolo invented the natural course by which children learn by the institute on a training in logic at the beginning of the educational process. He argued intended the young people need to have their mental power developed and nourishing by promoting their memories through the study of language and enhancing their imagination through reading poets, historicism, and authors. Young minds first need to kind of reasoning that common sense provides. Common sense acquired through the experience of poet, orators, and people of prudence teaches the young the importance of work with probabilities prior to an education in logic. The train youth first in logic in the absence of common sense is to the teach them to make judgment